Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you for coming to watch. So I've got guys an update on some very impactful storm systems that are really going to get going across the United States as we get into December. Really going to be watching um, potentially up to three major storm systems that could drop both snow and very heavy rainfall across all regions of the United States. We're going to be talking about also a very big atmospheric river that's going to be impacting the northwestern U.S., bring heavy snow and heavy rain to widespread areas. And then right now we do have an ongoing system in the northeast that's also bringing some very heavy rain and fall into the southeast. I've got you guys an update on all of this coming right up. So apologize for not updating you guys on the weather in a while. I had just very busy schoolwork and stuff, so that was slowing me down, and also I had so much going on that I really didn't have time to do an update until now, but it's Friday. All right, so we're pretty much in today's video, we're going to pick up from where we left off the last time I did an update and basically start out with what we were talking about back then, which is really just looking at what could be happening in the future ahead of us, because we definitely are just waiting on that very big and just major storm system to come sweeping through, and really trying to figure out when exactly that could happen. Okay, so starting out here, looking at our current radar, we can see a very big system moving through the eastern U.S. We can see very heavy rainfall moving over the northeastern coastline. That is moving out towards Atlantic Canada, so that will be clearing up as we get throughout tonight. But we do have a shield of some rainfall and some snow on the north side of this. This is moving into the Ottawa area in portions of southeastern Canada, also the Quebec area, Toronto. All of you guys getting in on some rainfall and some snow. It's pretty much going to be back and forth. Okay, but these three cities out here near the U.S. Canada border will definitely be seeing some snow and also some rainfall with this system. Okay, and we also see some snow back here down towards Iowa and Chicago. That is all part of this same system. Okay, and then believe it or not, what's also powering the system, the south side of it, is this big band of these two big bands of rainfall moving over the Gulf states. Okay, this is definitely going to be causing a lot of flash flooding as we get throughout tonight. So basically, what we're seeing with this is we're seeing a lot of Gulf moisture surging up into the system. That is pretty much following the system. The system has picked up that Gulf moisture, and that's what's powering it. Okay, so that's why we see so much rainfall moving right through the Gulf Coast here, and we can see in the Baton Rouge, Louisiana area, we can see very heavy rainfall with a big band of it. So, if this rainfall continues for just 3 hours or so, that's certainly going to be enough to cause some major flash flooding, and we're talking like, some roads may have over a foot of rainwater on them. Okay. We have some scattered snow showers, light to moderate snow, pockets of snow throughout the northern tier of the country. And then again, very heavy rainfall and snowfall moving through the western U.S. So we'll go on to our alerts here and taking a look at what we've got going on. Okay, so in the western U.S., we can see we're very active. We've got winter storm warnings going out for portions of Washington State. This goes down through Oregon. Here we can see the central portions of the states receiving this winter storm warning, and then off to the west of that is where we can see into Washington State, where we have that. I believe this is a high wind advisory, and then just south of that into the northwest coastline of Oregon is where we see that flood watch, because we are definitely getting into those times where we are very wet. We're seeing a lot of moisture and rainfall coming into play here as we get into tonight, and then tomorrow we're really going to start to see a lot of that heavier rainfall that we've been talking about, which will lead to flash flooding, start to move in. All right, and then off to the east of all this action here, we see those winter weather advisories really just scattered about here, and then more winter storm warnings getting into portions of Idaho, and then off towards Wyoming, where we see in western Wyoming we have also more winter storm warnings. And then in the northwestern portions of Wyoming, we have winter storm watches. Excuse me. All right, but we can see also that we have high wind warnings and high wind watches here going out for portions of central into northwestern Montana and also into southeastern Wyoming. We are definitely going to see some very, very windy conditions throughout tonight into tomorrow. This will most likely continue throughout this weekend because we have a very, very strong system moving through. That's the reason why we're getting all those very, very strong winds. Okay, with those winter storm warnings and advisories, those winter weather advisories, they make it all the way down south towards New Mexico and even into portions of Arizona. So very, very big area receiving alerts, just alerts here because of our winter storm. Okay, and then into portions of southwestern Kansas, we do have what looks like a dense fog advisory. This might be an air quality alert. I think it's a dense fog advisory though. All right, this is just going out because we just had a big system that rolled through. Okay, so we're waking up to some very dreary conditions just because the atmosphere is still loaded with moisture. Okay, and so that's why we just see that low-lying cloud out there, also going out from portions of western Tennessee into northern Louisiana. All right, down here in the southeast, things have actually just turned to the bad side here. We actually just got a tornado watch that was just issued. I was literally setting this up, and the tornado watch got issued while I was setting this update up. We actually now have a tornado watch for portions of southern Louisiana. This is the Gulf Coast of Louisiana down towards Mississippi. So very just not a good sign here from the National Weather Service to issue that tornado watch, meaning not just meaning that it's not good that we're seeing that tornado watch because whenever we get some of these Gulf spin ups here that move ashore, there's always that tornado threat with them, and sometimes they can actually be very, very bad. All right, so we just gotta watch this and make sure that we're aware how high this threat could be. All right, we also do have some flood watches going out into here into the panhandle of Florida. All right, and then also you could also see some counties out here into southern Louisiana are included in that flood warning. All right, so we'll move over to our NAM 3K model for the northeastern U.S. Okay, so we're talking about again that big system that's moving through right now. This is actually not that big system that everyone's talking about that's going to bring snow. Okay, both of these systems are going to be very big. Okay, but the system that's going to be bringing snow is the one that's going to be happening after this one. Okay, so starting out here, this was what the picture that we had at around 2 p.m. today. We had a shield of rain and snow on the north side of the storm system, and then some light to moderate rainfall moving into the southern portion of the system. All right, well, that continued throughout the day, and this is where we are pretty much right now. Okay. So we have some scattered areas up here north that's still behind that cold front that are experiencing that snow. But anything farther south than really Quebec, Montreal, and then into really just up into the U.S. Canada border region here. That's where anything further south than that. That's where we're going to be seeing all rainfall. Okay, but as we continue throughout the night, this big pocket of rainfall moves off to sea, and then on the backside of this, we just have a lot of leftover rain showers, and then some pretty steady snowfall moving through northern Maine. But for the rest of you guys, it's just going to be some light snow, or excuse me, light rainfall for the most part as this pulls out. Okay, so you may be thinking at this point, this is 12 p.m. So this is around noon tomorrow, that we're pretty much done with the storm system. All right, we'll just wait for the next one. We'll probably come in a few days. But no, the next system is actually going to be part of the system that actually detached from it. Okay, we still got showers and thunderstorms developing down here, down towards the Smoky Mountains area. into western North Carolina and then eastern Tennessee. We could see a lot of rainfall moving up from that area. Then here comes your next big system. All right, this is starting to bring a lot of rainfall and moisture out from the Atlantic, as well as that same moisture that's being pumped into the southeast right now. Okay, and it does form a second system, but that cold front, it's moving down behind it. That's going to bring more snow, and then that cold front up north is actually moving farther south too. So that's just going to be calling for that recipe of heavy snow. All right, we can see by the time we get to Sunday, December the 3rd, okay, we're at 1 p.m., and we start to see some very heavy rainfall moving through portions of eastern PA and then into portions of New Jersey as well. Long Island, southern New England, all expected to see some light to moderate rainfall, but really the heaviest rainfall off to the west. Maybe even some thunderstorms. I wouldn't say severe, but maybe some strong thunderstorms rolling through portions of eastern Ohio. I think that these could definitely they could cause a bang, but I don't think that these are going to be so strong that they could be called severe. But you could definitely see thunder and some lightning with some of these some of these thunderstorms, I should say, out here in the portions of eastern Ohio. Okay, I don't know if I said western Ohio. I meant eastern Ohio. All right, and then just very heavy rainfall in general. But the area that I want to watch. Okay, I've seen this run before, so this is not new to me. But the area that I want to watch above all things is this area right into here. Okay, you're going to see a drastic change from rainfall to snowfall, and so we see right here 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. We can see right here we've got heavy rainfall moving through central New York State, and then just north of that we have freezing rain and some pockets of very, very light snowfall. Okay, but look how close that is to our cold front. Look as we go from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. That all changes to extremely heavy snow. I mean, these snowfall rates here are 2 to 3 inches per hour. So that would definitely be enough to cause the storm system to dump like a foot of snow, maybe up to a foot of snow. That's certainly possible. All right, that snow just continues to spread, and by 5 p.m., this is around dinner time, we have a full-on monster snowstorm, and this is dumping inches of snow. We can even see purple showing up here for your snowfall. Okay, we're getting into the 10 to 14 inch inch range, I should say. So what that means here is that when you see the shade of blue and pink here, that basically tells you the estimated snowfall totals for that area. And right off the bat, you can see that it's looking like you're gonna get nearing a foot of snow for these areas that are seeing extreme dark blues here. So this is getting into portions of southern Vermont and New Hampshire, and then just into tucked into northwestern Massachusetts, where we see that heavy snowfall. Just south of that, where that warm front is still surging up to the north, we have very, very heavy rainfall. Okay, so kind of a weird system here where we see back and forth changes, very sharp contrast. Notice how the first contrast here is from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. That heavy rainfall quickly changing to heavy snowfall. That here we can see also again this very, very, I mean, these two different areas of precipitation, very extreme. I'm telling you guys, this is extreme snowfall up here in northwestern Massachusetts, and then just south of that we have heavy rainfall. That is a very sharp contrast, which is not something that you usually see in winter storms, but this is definitely going to be happening with this system. All right, and that very heavy rainfall moves through southern New England and then off to the coast. But man, that is a extreme band of snowfall, and not to mention, we actually will see that same band of snowfall spreading as far to the west as portions of central New York State. I don't think necessarily it's going to make it to the Finger Lakes region, but you can definitely see, just based off the NAM 3KM model, this makes it about 50, 100 miles to the east of there. So this entire area, I would say you guys just gotta make sure that you're watching my updates and just any updates that you get on the weather, because you're about to get slammed by a giant winter storm system here, and that is going to stay as all snow unless you get some rain showers on the backside of that. But that snow continues to spread. It's not going to be as intense after we get from 5 to 6 p.m. We can actually see some more purple starting to show up here along this tiny coastal region of New Hampshire and Maine. Okay, that's where we can see maybe the heaviest snowfall. That same band, is going to be moving through right into here. That's where I think we could actually see maybe the heaviest snow. All right, but going from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. or 8 p.m. I should say, just you can see how much this band of snowfall evolves, and then now at this point, the entire northern half of the storm system is going to be experiencing very heavy snow, and that just continues to move through the northern U.S. And eventually, this will become an all snow event for Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont, and then into well upstate New York, northern New York State. We're also going to be experiencing that same very heavy snow. So, a very active run that you just saw here off of the NAM3KM model, and we look at its current projected snowfall totals, okay, or look at the GFS here going out to the full, just the full time period that this storm will cover. Okay, we're going on 90 hours, so exactly to December 5th, which is Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. These are the snowfall totals that we could be dealing with. You can see widespread 8, 9, 10-inch range here into Maine. I would say really all of Maine, as long as you're not at the immediate coast of Maine, you could definitely be expecting at least 5, 6, 7 inches of snow, but definitely up to watching a foot of snow. That's definitely not out of the picture for you guys in Maine, and we're talking really all of Maine. Okay, into New Hampshire and Vermont. Now we could see, some of those lighter snowfall totals because we don't see as widespread. But really, that same general area the NAM3KM model was showing, this area right here, we don't see that much heavy snow into or big time snowfall totals in Massachusetts. I don't know what the GFS is thinking here, but it's actually not even showing an inch into portions of Massachusetts. So maybe that contrast was a little too sharp or exaggerated, shown by the NAM3KM model, but we can definitely see those greens and those pinks signifying snowfall totals in the 9 to really 14-inch range here. That snow really spreads out towards the Finger Lakes region, or really just to the east of that is where you could get that measurable snow. So basically, for that area that I'm watching for heavy snow in the northern New York State, basically what you do is you take the Finger Lakes region. Okay, you just go to the east of that, and then you go up, and then that is that area. Then pretty much there is that same area that I'm watching, which is right into here. Okay, we can see 4, 5, 6 inches of snow, but this tiny pocket of green and pink. That's an area that I'm watching too for maybe up to the highest snowfall totals for this region with this storm system. So, very active times ahead. 2 storm systems coming, but that one for snowfall is going to be the second one. All right, and that's going to be arriving on December 3rd. Okay, which is Sunday of this weekend. All right. So going over to the GFS model for the northwestern U.S. here. So we're going to be talking about an atmospheric river that's going to be coming into play as we get throughout December here. All right, this is going to be definitely bring some very impactful systems into the northwestern U.S. All right, so I'm going to run through this quickly, but I would just want to show you, this is the 24-hour accumulated precipitation map here, and I just want to show you wave after wave of storm systems that are going to be coming in and dumping inches of rainfall. We're talking inches of rainfall with every single system here. All right, and just keep watching these waves. It looks like a wave. That's why we call it an atmospheric river. All right, first storm comes in, second storm, third storm, fourth storm, fifth, sixth, and 7 coming up here. Okay, that is definitely not a typical pattern that you see. So that's definitely one reason why we're dealing with an atmospheric river here. Okay, but also notice it's the same exact area that's getting hit over and over and over again. We're going all the way out to December 17th. Okay, but we see all of the storm systems really bring these blue shades in. That's at least a half of an inch of rain in just 24 hours with each storm system. But it's that same area right into here. Okay, that is the area to watch for the most intense flash flooding. Okay, and the heaviest rainfall and just the highest impacts. All right, so I just wanted to show you guys that to clarify that we are going to be dealing with an atmospheric river. This is where we get into the juicy details of what each storm system is going to bring in terms of impacts. All right, so here comes your first system. Okay, it's positioned farther north. You can see the heaviest precipitation is farther north, but it's definitely bringing heavy snow into the upper elevations of that same exact area here that we see in this really just west central Oregon and Washington State is where we see that blue stripe right into here. Okay, that's where we get that heavier snowfall. And then just off to the west of that, where we're getting up towards the coastline, that's where we transition back into rain. Okay, but that very heavy band of precipitation actually moves further south, and that's where we can see the entire northwestern U.S. in general just getting slammed by the system. All right, so that piece of energy it's moving down. It's moving down like this. Okay, and it's going to be riding the jet stream that we see here. I'm sorry about drawing a bad arrow there, but the jet stream right now is pretty wonky. All right, right now the jet stream is like that. Okay, and it's going to be moving south with the flow of the jet stream with that cold air that's moving down. All right, we can see extreme snowfall and extreme rainfall pummeling the Seattle area. You guys are right in the middle of that. And I'm telling you guys, it's going to go hour to hour, snow to rain, snow to rain. You're just going to get so many different headlines saying, inches of snow expected, crazy flash flooding. All right, it's going to be the real deal, and it's going to be for both heavy snowfall and both heavy rainfall. It's first going to come in as snowfall for you guys, but don't get tricked into thinking that this is just going to be a snowfall event. Because let me tell you guys, just wait and see, because that rainfall is going to come in on the backside. And, don't think that you're going to get away with just a snowfall event, just a snowstorm. No, it's going to be rainfall too on the backside. And boom, there you go. And then we get transitioned into our second storm. Our second storm, the heavier snowfall is positioned farther north, but into here is where we can see that flash flooding potential. Extreme rainfall, I'm telling you guys, I can't stress this enough. This is extreme rainfall. When I mean extreme rainfall, I mean rainfall rates of 2 to 3 inches, maybe up to 4 inches per hour, impacting portions of northwestern Oregon. That's what we're talking about with flash flooding. That is going to lead to flash flooding. Okay, not as much snow with this system, but that front side snow, okay, that's positioned farther west, or farther east, I should say, into portions of Oregon and then western Montana. All right, and then that system kind of fizzles out before our next system comes in, and even more heavier rainfall and snowfall moves in. But man, just the southwestern coastline, by the way, of Canada is about to get, slammed. That's all I can really say with this. But it moves farther south. All of the same storm systems that you see that impact the southwestern coastline of Canada, that's all going to move down to the northwestern U.S. So whatever you see here is coming to you guys. December 5th. So really it's going to be day by day with these storm systems. Maybe a small break in between each storm systems, maybe like half a day to a day for your breaks, but it's going to be storm system after storm system. These storm systems are 983 millibars, so the 980 millibar range. That's pretty low, okay, but that's definitely that typical range for a nor'easter. That brings more rainfall, really all rainfall for the northwestern U.S. with that one, okay. And that moves out. We get another one, looking like more of a dynamic system, and then that kind of brings just some scattered snowfall and rainfall. to the northwestern U.S. Maybe a dip in our jet stream here. We can see actually that this does actually really weigh down this jet stream. It actually brings it all the way down to Southern California, which is off the map here. So maybe a jet stream right around the 8th of December. That one was out. We really don't know exactly at this point what's going to happen, but just looking at the rest of the run, we could see just, the same picture over and over again. Just storm after storm after storm after storm. And it's just going to be, a wild time out here in the northwestern U.S. So I'm hoping that you guys can get through these times, but it's looking like this is going to be sticking with us really for the majority of at least the first half of December. All right, so we go over to our current projected rainfall totals, okay? And they're off the charts, okay? This is out to December 17th, so based off of what you just saw, you probably know what to expect here, and it's crazy, okay? That area that will start out here with southwestern Canada, just because you guys are going to get hit so hard, I want to include you guys in my forecast because I want to this weather is so bad that I want to make sure everyone knows what's going to go on here. All right, we can see that we're getting bright yellows, 24 inches of rain, 2 feet of rainfall. Okay, that is out 384 hours. That's a pretty long time out, but we are not supposed to get 2 feet of rain in half a month. That's not supposed to be happening, and that most likely will go all the way down this coastline here. This entire area could see up to 2 feet of snow or 2 feet of rain. Okay, that is ridiculous, and that's that same exact area that's going to receive the brunt hit of those storm systems. Okay, but just off to the east of this band, okay, we can see some lighter rainfall totals, and we could actually start to see some blues. Okay, so it looks like it's going to be that first initial push of that storm system, okay, and then it's going to back off a little, maybe some strengthening, re-strengthening with this, because we can see some more inches of rainfall showing up here. But it looks like really, if you're on the coastline, buckle up, get ready. You're going to be in the epicenter of where the worst is going to happen. Then if you're really midway through the states here, you should be okay, but there is a shot for some pretty heavy snowfall. And then if you're all the way out to portions of Montana and Idaho, we'll still have to figure that out. But it looks like you're definitely not going to see as high impacts as the coastline, but you're definitely not going to escape the storm system entirely. All right, so these are your current projected rainfall totals. These will change, okay? But yeah, this is what we're going to be dealing with. And I'm telling you guys that this is not just a crazy scenario shown by the GFS. This is the real deal. And this is going to be happening. And this is going to cause potentially catastrophic and life-threatening problems. So, transitioning from our last portion of the update, we were looking at what we could be expecting for the northwestern U.S. going into December. Well, now let's look at the entire United States, but this time we're actually looking at the North American wide view here, and we're looking at basically our jet stream. Okay, I want to show you guys this because I think that our polar jet, or our polar vortex, I should say, might actually get active, and this could definitely spark some big snowstorms in the eastern U.S. Okay, so your polar vortex is this big, broad area of high pressure out in the into the extreme northern U.S., extreme just northern hemisphere. Okay, this is the pretty much the top of the earth. You know how the earth is, it's on a tilt, but it's right on top. Okay, this is that area that's right on top here. That's the top of the earth right there. That's where it's very, very cold. Okay, that's where we have that polar vortex, which is a broad area of high pressure, which we see right here. And we see the polar vortex, which is right here. Okay, these wind streams that are associated with all those cold blasts. Okay, So this actually may solve a question that a lot of you have been wondering. Where do cold blasts come from? They come from the polar vortex. It's waves, you could say, of Arctic air that move down from this northern portion of the world, and it moves down all the way to the northern U.S. Okay, and that's where we get that cold air from. All right, and basically we're looking at the basically the strength of that polar vortex and the direction that it's moving in. Those waves, if you would, um, of uh, of colder temperatures. Okay, we could start to see, starting out here, we could start to see the flow of the cold air is starting to move down like that. Okay, and so that's definitely going to call for some colder temperatures out here in the eastern U.S. That's going to call for a negative PNA and a positive PNA in the west, meaning that we're going to have warmer above average temperatures in the west and below average temperatures in the east. Okay, that's going to be your setup for the first few days of December. Okay, that's going to take a long time for this to get out. All right, let me go to the OZ European model here so we can get the full 240 hours here. All right, then we'll skip ahead to the 10th when that moves out, and then this big uh amplified part of this cold front or cold blast, I could say, which is going to be located right around here. This is where your cold air is going to be. Okay, it's not into the northern U.S. yet. That's why we're talking about a big warm up here for portions of the central U.S. We can see it starts to flatten out. That's going to call for some relatively quiet weather, but that's just going to last for a few days before this starts ramping up again and things are going to get cold again. But you can see that this polar vortex actually dips here. We're getting to December 6th, which is Wednesday. At this point, it's dipping into the north. It's spilling into the northeastern U.S. Notice here how it's shifting farther south. So you've got two areas of high pressure here. Okay, and this polar vortex is dipping. Okay, it's dipping farther south. So this is going to be something that we're going to have to watch for all of winter. All right. So we're in El Nino right now, which is a climatological season that calls for an extended Pacific jet stream. Okay, that means that we're going to see an amplified storm track through this area here. Okay, we can actually see that happening right now. These wind streams are moving right through that same area through the Gulf states and then up the East Coast. All right, and basically what we'll see is we'll see a lot of storm systems taking that track. But if we get a deep enough spill in the polar vortex here that we're showing right now, that will line up with a storm system coming up from the Pacific jet stream in the Gulf of Mexico, that could be the formula for a big, like a blockbuster snowstorm for the eastern U.S., specifically the northeastern U.S. So that's why everyone is talking about nor'easters already in December. Okay, but we can still see still just a very active polar vortex, and man, actually at this point we actually get a very extensive big dip in our jet stream here. And so yeah, that polar vortex is going to tie into that jet stream, and that's gonna be pushing it farther south because that cold air is pushing down on it. All right, but our December warm up is coming up soon, and that's because we're starting to see some more moisture come up from the Gulf. That's gonna push into the eastern U.S. and then maybe into. I'm thinking that personally, I think that we could actually start to see some warm air move in from the Pacific Ocean, and that'll push into the western U.S. And that'll actually perform as a ridge and unfolding as a positive PNA in the western U.S. All right, so taking a look here now at our jet stream, we're zooming in a little bit now that we don't need to see all the way up north to the northern hemisphere. Now we're talking about our jet stream and how much energy is with it. All right. And so basically, we're going to be taking a look at where any pieces of energy will have enough stamina or strength, I should say, to really get going here. And so we could actually see, starting here, we do see a piece of energy moving through the central plains here, and that's going to be really right after our first two systems move through the northeastern U.S. And that actually does move through the northeastern U.S. It kind of falls apart though. You can see it's starting out very active, starting to get its act together. Okay, what you want to look for is something like this, a shape like this. Okay, that's what you want to see. That is kind of the shape or form that you want to see a system take in order for it to be strong, okay, and organized. But that kind of flattens out as it moves off to the east. Here comes the second piece of energy barreling down towards the Tennessee Valley. This one's stronger, and it's definitely a lot more stronger. You can see it's kind of rotating in like that. All right. And so that or curving in, I don't know what you want to say with that. All right, but that also kind of flattens out. So really nothing too major, but a big piece of energy coming down, most likely from that polar vortex. Piece of energy, I should say, really cold. A piece of cold air associated with a piece of energy moves down and then sweeps through the eastern U.S. That looks like a contender for a potential storm system. That looks like Wednesday the 6th. So watch out for a storm system. Really, it's looking like the 5th to the 8th of December is looking like an active time period for a potential storm system. Okay, and here things get very active. Okay, we get a huge piece of energy, a low pressure center coming out from the Pacific Ocean. That's going to be associated with that atmospheric river. But this one comes in farther south, and we get a big dip in the jet stream here, and we get very, very active here. Very, very strong piece of energy. That's that same shape, that same kind of U shape, that hook kind of shape to it. Here it is right here. All right, very, very strong, very dynamic looking system here. This is that look of a system that really signifies a potential strong system. That continues throughout the central U.S., but this run finishes here. But you can see these isobars also getting very close together. So, you know, this takes us all the way out to Monday the 12th, it looks like. Or, yeah, it looks like Monday the 12th. Okay, so this isn't the farthest out, but mid-December, I'm telling you guys, we gotta watch out for something big. And I think that it could be a big snowstorm, it could be a big rainstorm, or it could be both. We just gotta figure that out. All right, I'm gonna move through this very fast. We're looking at the latest 18Z GFS. All right, not very active. All right, that's that same area that we saw that piece of energy here that kind of flattened out as it moved through the northeastern U.S. Okay, here comes another piece of energy coming down from the from Canada here that could actually act as a clipper or maybe even bring some more lake effect snow. All right, but that moves through the northeast and then it moves out and just brings some snowfall in general. All right, but here comes that same system or that same piece of energy that the European model showed. What does the GFS do with it? Bam, brings it into the central U.S. and it really becomes a very, very strong and active system. We're getting to December 10th, so this is pretty much that same exact kind of time frame that the European was showing, maybe a little bit earlier with this system. Okay, but it shows a severe weather event for the southeast. Gotta watch that as always. Okay, this is 216 hours out, but you've got a shield of snowfall on the north side of this. Why don't we see snowfall farther south? Well, it's because you have a ridge going on here. This ridge is due to this is your southeastern ridge here, and the flow of your moisture coming up from the Gulf, all right, is pushing up through into the eastern U.S., which is going to be in front of the system, and that's just going to make this cold air follow behind it and push it out off to the east. That's why your cold air has to move like this, and your warm air has to move like this. That's how things are going to be working. If we get this type of setup, we might see this change. Well, we will see this change, but this could actually change completely, but it could actually also just stay the same. But a big severe weather event showing up here for the southern U.S., so gotta definitely watch that. That's definitely a signal for a potential severe weather, multi-day severe weather outbreak. Yeah, that's definitely not a good sign there. That's from the December 10th to the 12th where we could see that. All right, but don't say that there will be a severe weather outbreak. We don't know that yet, okay? But we just got to continue seeing what the trends are and what the models are going to be saying as we get closer and closer to this time period, this time frame. All right, maybe another system comes up here. It actually comes down with a big dip in the jet stream, and the same kind of flare from that um polar vortex, and that actually brings a big Arctic blast down from southeastern Canada, and it really brings it really down far into the southeastern U.S. now, getting it all the way down there. And it actually does meet up with a system coming up from the Gulf, the Pacific jet stream, and we do see a nor'easter here that brings a lot of snow to southern New England and the Northeast. All right, so there's that setup again I was talking about. Excuse me, but here it is showing up on the GFS. Um, not every run of the GFS has been showing this, but really, at least one run of every day, really, on the GFS has been showing a signal for this potentially happening. But zooming in here on the Northeast U.S., taking a look at what areas could actually get hit, by this. I mean, this is going to change a lot. This might not even happen, but if this were to happen, or a storm system like this, it looks like it could bring snow to southern New England, but really the interior Northeast getting a lot of snow as well. And really depends on the position of that low pressure. If the low pressure center is more off the sea, we're going to see a lot of heavier snowfall on the coast. If it's hugging the coastline and it's sitting right where it is just off of Long Island here, that's where you could get more snow farther inland. So a lot of different scenarios looking possible in the GFS. We just got to figure out what is going to happen in December, because whatever's going to happen, it's going to be big. All right, so thank you all for coming to watch this video. That's all I got for you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. So, just stay tuned. Keep watching my updates. Keep watching, especially if you're in the northwestern U.S. Big atmospheric river is going to continue to pummel you guys. Really, every single day is going to feel like just, endless rainfall. That's how bad this system could be. I mean, because if you go through this entire run, you almost see no day with a good break in the rainfall. Really, December 9th, though, we actually do get a break in the rainfall. That's just because one of those weaker storm systems move through that actually develops, and the central U.S. moves through. That next one's going to be big, though. All right, and then there it comes through. And that actually could be maybe the end to your atmospheric river, because we have been dealing with this for a few days now. So, I think that at this point we gotta figure out how long this is gonna last. If this is gonna continue throughout the rest of December, or if it's gonna start to slow down and end at this time from here. So, we'll continue watching everything. We'll continue watching, obviously, again, that atmospheric river, that big December warm up. But yeah, just a very, very active time ahead, very active months ahead as we get into winter. So thank you all for coming to watch this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.